Hi Kate, good morning. Thanks
Good
for
morning.
coming.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so I guess the first question for us here is, what was the relationship between the customer service team and the design team before you got into the company, into the projects?
Yes, customer service and design, there was basically no relationship. It was non-existent. They were seen more as two separate departments that were under, one company, but there's no interaction between the two. So they didn't see any congruency between the two departments.
Okay, and how did that affect the productivity and the mood of the whole office?
Right, so since we were in two separate departments with little communication, there was also this growing resentment between the two departments. And it happened mostly because customer service team felt as though design was just off doing their own thing, and then the customer service side had to deal with all of the garbage that design dumped on them, or so they said. And design felt as though there was no contribution from customer service to help on their end. So that created a lot of resentment between the two departments. And then that affected the entire mood, since nobody wanted to talk to each other. We were avoiding both departments, and then the productivity completely suffered. We're very dependent on each other's departments. One leads into the next and then circles back around, so we have to work together. But if there's this growing resentment and lack of communication, information gets dropped, which result was inefficiency, lack of communication, leading to declined productivity, and then just an overall resentment.
So you were a part of the design team, and in which kind of project did your bosses have you interact with the customer service team as well?
Sure. I had a lot of formal and informal interactions with customer service. Most of them were informal, and my boss would just say, you need this errand run, go get customer service to do it. So she looked at them more as like a gopher kind of team. What I mean by gopher is somebody that can just go get the menial tasks done. And they really came to resent me for that. I used to communicate to them that it was not me that was requesting them to do this, but it was a message that was given to me to request. But still, aside from all of that, these kind of informal projects and errands I had them do, it fed into this growing resentment.
And what did you do to change the environment of the firm?
Certainly. So I identified the contrasting leadership styles that my boss and I held. She had a very Machiavellian approach to getting the task done, so it meant I don't really care how it's done, just make sure it's done. And in that, it created this subculture of just non-communication, like I was saying before, and a lot of resentment. I felt that was not contributing, to the mood or the culture of the company, but also to the bottom line. And so I felt in order to beat out those type of tendencies, I created more of a communicative environment. So to do that, I tried to understand the point of view of customer service. So I just took them aside informally and asked them what was going on in their head, like what they saw from design team, how they interpreted our actions and our requests to get more communication from their end. And then I also brought that feedback back to design so that we could also understand, okay, if we do this and we ask them this, how that's interpreted by customer service. So I took a communicative approach to help quell this growing resentment and disparities between the two departments. And then using this new information that I gathered, I acted upon that by trying to create a common core culture between design and customer service. So each side understood what the other team was working on. We could understand what their pressures were, they understood what our pressures were, and why we took certain actions and what that actually meant. So everyone got a better understanding of the intention and the actions that derive from these intentions, and there was less misunderstanding, more productivity. The culture was then revamped to be very open, very understanding, and it was better all around.
And were there any pushbacks on that strategy, and which obstacles did you face when trying to implement that?
Yeah, certainly. I think it's hard to get people out of their habits. And plus there wasn't really a lot of trust coming from between the two departments. So when I initially approached customer service to say, hey, I'd like to understand a little bit more what is going on your side, they were more reluctant to actually answer me truthfully and say what was really bothering them. So in the beginning it was just like, nah, whatever, I'm just working on my stuff and I don't really care. So it was hard for me to dig in and actually understand their perspective. But once they understood that the intention and where I was coming from, and that I actually wanted to grow us together as a community, they were more responsive to my requests, and they answered me very candidly. In the beginning, it was when I started to get my... Hi Jackie, thanks
Hey.
for coming in today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
So what were some of the changes Kate made when she took over?
Okay, Kate, she was great. So it was actually when she came to talk to us when she took over, it was the first time we felt heard. So we got to tell our part of the story. So all the facts I told you before. And I think that for the first time she included us in the planning of the whole shooting. So she took these issues to her bosses. And for the first time, job wasn't just dumped on us. We were included in the planning of the shooting. So we had a little bit more visibility of what was going to happen. We could plan ahead of time, so it wasn't just work being dumped on us. So it was really good. Yeah.
What was the main leadership quality Kate exhibited?
Well, I think she listened to us, and she really worked in trying to bring together the front and the back office of the company. And by listening to us, we felt for the first time appreciated. We felt that people understood what we were doing. It's not the main front office stuff, it's the most boring, accounting, but that's vital for the company as well. So I think by listening to us, she really, and talking to the other guys as well, she really brought us together to working as one company. And that's what we were missing. Like, you cannot have one company working with the back office completely separated from the front office with no communication. And yeah, so I think that